Okay, so we're here. Nice to see you.
Hi, everyone.
We have a couple of people. Sorry, this is going to start already. We do have a couple of people in the waiting room already. Yummy411 is here. Hi.
Hi, Kia.
Right. Thanks so much for joining me. This is really exciting. I'm a little bit nervous. I've never done this, never hosted a live before, so it's a bit new to me.
Yeah, I know you and I have been on one or two, I think, in the past with Pep hosting it, but I think you set it up just fine and it's perfect. So
yeah, hopefully. Yeah, it's nice when somebody else is hosting because you sort of just have to show up. So
yeah, I'm just living the life now. I'm just relaxing because I'm not the one hosting. So thank you.
Oh, it's so nice to see you. I feel like we talk a lot on text message, but
Yeah.
obviously never get to speak face to face. So it is really nice to talk face to face. How are you going?
Oh, it's been good. This week has been pretty laid back. Today I was off from work. I did some work, but it wasn't like a full day of work, so that was really nice. How about yourself?
Nice. Yeah, good. Well, I've been working from home this week because I still have this annoying cough, and I feel like a social pariah going into the office with a cough. I have been COVID tested, and it's definitely not COVID, thankfully.
That's
but
good.
We don't have any cases here at the moment, anyway. I don't think, and definitely no community transmission. So. So it's just a cold, but it's been so strange because I haven't had any sort of illness really for over 12 months, and it's really hit me hard, I think, this time around, just because I haven't been sick for so long, so I haven't built up my immunity.
Yeah, I'm worried about that when the world starts to open up, and then I might catch something. Who knows what symptoms I might end up having?
Yeah. Anyway, it hasn't been too bad. It's just the cough that's a little bit annoying, but we'll soldier through. So we were going to talk about Moonlight in Chiang today.
That's
I think
right.
that was the one sample that we both had, or that we both knew we had. So there's really no sort of set format to today. We're just having a bit of chit chat and going through some samples that we've tried recently. I've got a few here, some that have been a success and others that are not so successful. But I thought so. We might start with Moonlight in Chiangmai and by Dusita Parfums. So do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Sure, I could go first.
Sure.
So you probably know how much I love this house. A lot of my favorites are from this house, especially their floral scents. That's what I'm really into from Dusita. So when I tried this, it was a little bit surprising to me because it's very different from some of the other ones I've tried from Pissarro's work. And what I can say just overall is that I think it's okay. It's not bad, but it's definitely not one of my favorite fragrances from this house. And I think a huge part of that is the dry down. I think you may have mentioned this during Sam's live on her Instagram about how sweet it is. And I do get a heavy blast of ambroxan, or something that resembles ambroxan in the dry down.
Yeah.
And I know Erin Sullivan posted something on her Instagram because she loves this scent. Actually, a lot of people enjoy this fragrance, and I can see why. She had mentioned in her post that I think some reviews have said that it's like Baccarat Rouge. I don't see it in that way, but I do get a lot of the ambroxan, and that's the part that I don't find as exciting.
Now that you say that, I remember I've been trying to actively avoid looking at any reviews the last few days of this, but since I've been trying it again, because I think I tried this sort of late last year when I got the Discovery Kit. I can't remember when I got it, but it was sort of late last year. And I remember somebody at the time telling me that people had likened it to Baccarat Rouge. So, but I'm the same. I guess there is that sweetness is so sweet that in a way I feel I can see how it is a little bit like that.
Yeah.
But for me, it's kind of haven't decided whether I like it or not. I don't dislike it, but I sort of I get this sort of what I like about it is that it sort of reminds me of, it really actually transports me to Thailand, basically. It really reminds me of being walking down the street and having the smell of like the open the fresh produce market where they cut up the fruit, and then you've got people cooking or working over open wood fires. So because I feel like there's a bit of smokiness in here, just a slight hint, and then there's it's sort of almost like a brushy, I want to say, I haven't decided if it's grassy or woody or sort of hay-like. It's just sort of like a brushy wood. Sometimes it feels a bit green, sometimes it feels a bit woody, sometimes it feels a bit dry. But then you've got this sort of fruity. At first I think on Sam's Live, I think I said it sort of smelled, it was very sweet and it was sort of like vanilla or something. But I take that back. It's not vanilla. It's more, to me, it sort of smells more fruity. And in fact, as it dries down for me, it almost gets like a stickiness to it. And it's not cloying, but it just smells like, when you chopped up fruit on a board or something, and then you come back to it later and it's sort of sticky, but, and smells sweet. That's sort of what I get from it.
That's a perfect description. I think I get the fruitiness too. So I don't remember what notes are in this, but there is something that smells pineapple-y to me, but I sometimes get that with yuzu, especially like in Still Life in Rio. That smells very pineapple-y to me, and that's what I get from this. When my husband smelled this on me, he thought I was wearing a pineapple scent, and I was like, I don't know if that's what it is, because I usually hate pineapples, but it's a little bit more bearable to me in this fragrance. But I definitely get what you mean about cutting up the fruit, and then the juices are kind of left on the cutting board. And I love that description that you said about the brushed wood, because I think that's the smell I get from teak wood, which I think is what she was trying to recreate in this fragrance.
I think you're right. I think it is meant to be teak wood in here. So yeah, definitely. I'm trying to be a good host and read the comments on the side as well, because I keep forgetting to.
Yeah.
I
hi
see
everyone. Raoul said that your voice is an octave lower. It does sound very husky and sexy. So.
My boss said to me on a video call the other day that I need to lay off the cigarettes. So that was pretty funny. So Vive Smack gets pineapple as well. Yeah, nice. So I've got a few fragrances that have yuzu in them. And I don't know if I've ever likened it to pineapple in the other fragrances that I've had, but I can see, I can definitely see that. But I mean, I've had yuzu, so I know what it smells like. So maybe I just sort of already associate it with a slightly different smell. But isn't it sort of a related to grapefruit or something, the yuzu?
A little bit. It does taste a bit bitter. I see Vivi actually said she gets a bitter accord from yuzu, or at least from the Healy fragrance. And the realistic fruit, I think, is less like pineapple. But for some reason, when I smell it in some fragrances that claim to have yuzu, it comes off as this very sweet citrus scent like pineapple. But yeah, I forget what other citruses it's related to. But I know I use it a lot when I make ponzu sauce, for example. So I like eating a lot of foods with it.
Nice. And do you get anything else? I mean, are you getting anything else from this? I don't know if I pick out anything else other than sort of those woody, fruity notes.
Yeah, that's basically what I get from it. I mean, it's not that complex, but that might be an advantage to this, because I could see it really appeal to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I could see a lot of men wear this too. And when looking at the other fragrances from this house, conventionally speaking, I think most of them probably appeal to more women because of how floral they are, but I could see it appealing to a lot of guys.
Yeah, and they don't, they're not really loud fragrances either. So, which is, I actually quite like that about this house. And I really only discovered this house because of you, actually. So, because you've talked about them so highly. So I got really curious. I remember when Splendaris was released, was it last year, year before? And I was curious about it then, but I sort of never really delved into it. But I finally bit the bullet and got the Discovery Kit. And now I'm having a dilemma with myself because I don't really want to I don't really want to add another bottle to my collection right now, but I'm sort of going, the one I really like, I think, is Isara. I think that might be one of my
that's
favorites.
Beautiful. Yeah, that was my husband's favorite from the whole line. We have a tiny travel size spray that he and I share, and we've been rationing that out because we don't want to spend that much on the full bottle.
Yeah. Absolutely, it is really gorgeous. I think when I bought the Discovery Kit, I got a voucher, a €40 voucher for it to put against a bottle. So I said to myself, okay, and I think it's valid for 8 months. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to wait for my birthday, and that'll be my birthday present. I'm going to make myself wait for it instead of this instant gratification that I seem to have fallen into over the past year. So yeah, I think the other thing I get from this is, as I said, there's almost a hint of smokiness in there. So I sort of really get that sort of fire, wood fire kind of feel to it. So yeah, so there you go. That's Moonlight in Chiangmai. I like it. I don't know if I want a full bottle of it, but I might be tempted to get a travel size. I remember when I first tried it, I was really thrown because, like you say, the rest of the house is very floral. They're not overly sweet. And I remember when I first tried it, and I think I put it on my Insta stories last year, that it just, I sort of said, I don't know if I really like it. It's too sweet, but it's kind of grown on me a little bit now. So I don't know.
I do go back and forth with it. Like some days when I wear it, I'm like, oh, this smells actually really good. And then other days, the Ambroxan, I think, just overtakes the other notes, at least when I wear it on skin. And I like Ambroxan, and it can be used well, but I just think it's a lot in this fragrance.
Yeah, agreed. Right. Okay. Well, so what's your favorite from the house? I think I've just told you mine. Yeah, but you have a few, So
I really like La Douceur du Ciel, but I think it's because it's the first one I tried. And that often happens when I try out fragrances from the house. But I still like it to this day. And I think I'm like halfway through the bottle. So I think that's a good sign that I like that fragrance a lot.
It was in your Show Me Your Dent video, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
So yeah, no, I really like the bottles. It's so silly. I know it's so silly, but I just really like them. They're so simple.
They're very classy. Yeah, it's classy, but it's not an overstatement, and I like that.
Yeah, and her artwork is beautiful too, I have to say. She's a very, very talented lady.
Well, a lot of great people here. I see Deborah's here. Hi, Deborah.
Hey, Deb. And Gail. Hi, Gail.
Hillary's here too.
Yeah, haven't seen Hillary for a while. Can you do a perfume comparison? Yeah. Let me just...
Comparison between two, or I'm not sure if I'm understanding.
Yeah, I'm not sure what JC Russell. I'm not sure which ones you want us to compare. But at some point, I'm happy to do a comparison video. Just let me know what you want me to compare. I'm happy to do one. So Beesmack says the smokiness might be from Myrrh. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that was in here. So
I didn't know that. I probably should look at the notes at some point, but I like just being able to talk to it, and then I'll look at the notes later. So, yeah, definitely. Okay, so was there anything else? I have a few other samples here that I sort of just picked out random things that I've been trying lately, but I wasn't sure if if there was anything else that you wanted to talk to, specifically fragrance-wise.
So for samples. Okay, so I guess I could talk about my scent of the day because it is a sample. So I'm wearing Eau de Jane, which is from Jane Daly. And she has a fantastic beauty blog. I read that, and she's on Instagram too.
Mm-hmm.
So I like this fragrance. It's a really nice galbanum scent. And I do plan to talk about it in a future video, but it's just so easy to wear. And I actually packed this in my makeup bag for work. And like I learned my lesson because I forgot to wear a scent one day to go to work. And so I just grabbed a bunch of samples to bring with me. And this was one of them. And I like the green aspect of this, obviously because with the galbanum, but it's also quite resinous in the dry down too. I get like a retro feel from it, kind of like a 70s type of feel, which I like, but you could still tell it's from today. It's a modern scent. So I enjoy that one.
Yeah, cool. I haven't heard of her. So is it actually her perfume line, is it? Or
she just has the one, I think.
Okay, right.
Yeah, she just has one, at least to my knowledge. And this is it. So
Oh, nice. So a few people have tried. So Michelle has tried it, and she reckons it reminds her a little bit of Chanel No. 19.
That makes sense because of the galbanum.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, I'll have to check it out because I love green scents, and I definitely love Chanel No. 19, as you know. So I'll definitely have to check that one out. What's your process, actually? I'm curious to know how you go about finding samples, because, I mean, I have a ton of samples here, but then a lot of them have come to me because, I've bought a bottle from a perfumery or something and somebody's thrown a heap of samples in, and a lot of the time they're not really things that I'm, that keen on trying. So I'm curious to know, because you did post on your Instagram recently, or was it Instagram or YouTube? Instagram, I think, about you organizing your samples, and and so I was thinking, I'm just curious to know how you go about, because you sample some really interesting fragrances, and I'm just sort of curious to know how you go about finding them and working out which ones you want to try.
Yeah, I don't know if I have an organized process for, what fragrances I want to sample or anything like that. Oftentimes it's through word of mouth. Like if I watch a reviewer that I like their tastes of, like for sure your videos, if I see a fragrance that you feature and I'm like, oh, I've never tried that, I should try it. That's how I kind of get interested in a fragrance. For hyped fragrances, I typically don't gravitate towards getting samples of those. Oftentimes I wait years before a hype dies down. And what I've found, at least from last year especially, is I've kind of looked at some of the almost classic type of scents, like ones that Luca Turin and Tanya Sanchez really enjoyed it from their books, or what's it called? Bois de Jasmin, which I know you read that blog. I kind of look back at that, even though that's stuff that I've read from years ago, but I wanted to kind of revisit some fragrances either I haven't smelled in a while or that I just haven't tried. And I know that they're known to be like these well-revered scents. So I kind of look to those now. But if someone says something about a fragrance and it seems very intriguing to me, especially if there's rose in it, for some reason I have a rose problem, I will want to try it.
Oh, I'm giggling because, I was a bit the same in this past year. And we were chatting about the Matière Première Radical Rose on Instagram a couple of weeks ago, I remember. And you were quite drawn to that one, partly because of the name too. I think it was it's a cool fragrance. It is really nice. Sadly, I've discovered though that so I really do like rose fragrances, but I think part of the reason why for a long time I didn't like rose was partly because a lot of the time, depending on how the rose is done, it can really give me headaches. Unfortunately, Radical Rose is one of them. It's a beautiful rose fragrance, but it gives me a crazy headache. So when I did the day I did the full wear, and I mean a full wear for me is 3 spritzes. I do one on each hand, and then one on my abdomen or something, and it was way too much.
Oh, really?
So I was really sad about that because it does smell so good, but as a rose fragrance, I hate
when that happens.
But sadly I can't wear it. But never mind.
So, what's your process for finding samples? Or
A little bit the same, actually. I've been a bit lazy lately, and I used to read. I used to go off the blogs and the books that I'd read, and try and trawl through those and sort of pick out ones that I felt like I really wanted to try. I mean, I have been sort of venturing into the vintage realm, which I always promised myself I wouldn't do.
That's dangerous.
But now I'm doing it, and I'm being very slow with it. I'm not, in the past when I've sort of been fixated on something, I rush out and I just go out and try and get samples of everything, and and buy bottles and things like that. And now I'm being a lot more slow with it and just being a little bit more careful, and just taking my time and enjoying it. So, but same, I've sort of been lately mostly just going off what other people have been talking about. Although, having said that, I do have, I said, a massive box of samples down here. So I've actually been trying to actively not search at the moment. I'm sort of just going, I'm just going to shop what I've got here and just play with what I've got, because these samples have been sitting here for so long now that I feel like if I don't use them soon, then they're going to go bad, or they'll dry out or whatever. In fact, one already has. I had one from Rogue, which was I think it was the Chypre Siam, and sadly it's dried up. So I was really sad about that.
That's happened to mine too, which is so unfortunate because it's a waste. But
I know. And I keep telling myself, why do I put off, sampling them? Because, I want to go through them. I want to know what they smell like. But there's also it is a bit of a process, because when I want to sample them for the purposes of getting to know them and critically review them, then I know that if I'm sampling something, I have to be in the mindset to actually pay attention to it. And some days I just want to try something and spritz it on, but then I think, I've only got this tiny little amount. So, I don't want to just do that all the time and then use up the sample and then I still don't have any notes or thoughts about it. So
I see. Yeah. Something I've been doing is... So my husband has his desk and he has a little cup with samples that I put in there. And sometimes I'll switch it out with different samples so that if I don't have time to try it out, I'll see if he's going to wear it. And that way I kind of smell it in some way, but it's on someone else.
Yeah.
But sometimes he doesn't realize I switched it.
Yeah, smelling it on someone else is quite a good thing too, actually, because then you get a bit of if you do end up putting it on your own skin, you've got that bit of comparison as well.
Yeah.
So that's quite a good thing. I don't have a scent of the day yet today. I've been a bit lazy and I haven't put anything on yet, and I kind of haven't decided what I want to wear. But I think yesterday I was tossing up about maybe wearing Jubilation 25, so I think I might wear that today. I've had the sample sitting here on my desk for a few days now. I did spray it once, I think about a week ago, and I really like this one. So I'm really getting into the Amouage. I've never really gravitated towards Amouage that much before, but lately I'm just becoming obsessed with them. I'm sort of really liking everything. So it's an unfortunate discovery.
I know.
For me.
It's oh my God, I think about how much they cost. But yeah, a lot of the ones I like, or a lot of their fragrances I tend to like, especially I've noticed the ones from between 2000 and 2010 are the ones I tend to like the most from Amouage, but I need to discover more of the newer ones.
Very nice. Viv, I really want to try this house. This is when Sam asked me on the live stream yesterday what houses I want to try or something, which houses I want to try in 2021 or something, and I was trying to remember the name. I can never remember the name of this house, and I definitely can't pronounce it. But this is
because it's so long. The name is so long.
So I'm so curious to try it. I've heard so many good things about it. So, have you tried anything from this house, Eve?
Yeah, I just got Coeur d'Chine, and I sprayed it on immediately when it came in the mail yesterday. So yeah, the one she's wearing is the one I ended up buying, and they gave me a sample of Vanille Havane, which I have yet to try. I know people are crazy about that one. And there were a couple more that I tried, but I don't remember the names. So I'll have to revisit those.
Yeah, fair enough. Jim's here. Hi, Jim. Nice to see you. And you're wearing Nuit de Cellophane. What do you think of it? Let me know,
I know
what you think of it.
You like that one. I like it too.
Yeah, I just think it's just so fresh and, you know, easy to wear. And I think some people think it's a bit screechy, but I really like it. So Interlude, the Blue Beast. Raoul, I have. Oh, so yeah, I have tried. I think I've tried the Interlude Woman, but I don't think I've tried Interlude Man, and I haven't tried the new Iris one.
Is that the one, Interlude? I think I did smell that one in store. I don't know if I enjoyed it, but then again, I smelled it on a paper strip, so who knows?
I think it was a bit challenging for me. I think it smelled, if I remember correctly, I think it kind of smelled a bit fusty for me. But which maybe I'll like it now. I think I tried it a while ago, and I think I've still got a sample of the Interlude Woman somewhere, so I might pull it out again, because now that I've sort of really started to get into these vintage style fragrances, I might now find that things that I used to think were pretty fusty aren't that fusty anymore. So yeah. So it's pretty funny. So one that I've just tried, and I don't know how long I've had the sample for, because I certainly don't remember seeing it for quite some time. I just literally blind sort of dug it out of my box the other day. But this is Eros Fig by Libertine Fragrances, and I've never tried anything from Libertine before.
I'm so interested in this house, so I want to hear your thoughts about this.
Yeah, well, I've got this lineup of samples here, and in fact, all of them are kind of meh for me. So I don't know if I want to talk about them or not, but this one I actually really liked.
Okay.
This one was really refreshing for me. I really like fig fragrances. I do really like Premier Figuier by L'Artisan, and but I find this one, it just has a little bit more oomph to it, and it's not as woody as, say, a Philosophus. It's a bit more green, and it's quite creamy as well. But I just find it's because the thing I do find with fig fragrances is they can be a little bit sort of wishy-washy. You know, they don't necessarily have a huge amount of body to them, and they're quite light wearing. And this is, still fairly light and fresh sort of smelling, but this one, it's really good and it lasts really well on me. So I spritzed this once on my arm over over a couple of days, and it was lasting all day. I could still smell it at the end of the day. So so far so good with my first Libertine fragrance sample. So,
is it tropical smelling to you?
A little bit. It's sort of I don't think it's as, it probably, actually, maybe it is. Hang on, let me put it back on my skin, because maybe this will be my scent of the day now.
It's no going back.
Oh no, I still have Chiangmai on this hand, so I wanted to put it on my skin. So no, it's not that I don't know, it's hard to say, because when I think of tropical, I think when people say tropical, they think of tropical fragrances, they think of, either coconut or fruity or something. I don't know if I get much coconut in here, although I think there is a coconut note meant to be in here. I don't get, there is a creaminess to it. I think that's probably the only thing I get in terms of coconutty, maybe. But it is kind of tropical if you think about lush green plants in the tropics. So when I smell it, it does actually kind of remind me of being somewhere tropical, because I can smell the greenery, like a lush jungle near the beach type of thing. But it's not, or if you're walking through like a tropical forest or something like that. I'm thinking Bali at the moment. But it's really nice. I like this a lot.
Okay. Yeah, definitely a house I need to try.
So which ones from the house have you been interested in?
In Libertine, I actually don't know much about it other than the visuals that they have on their Instagram page. So I haven't read any reviews or anything about their fragrances. I've only just become interested in them because of their photos, because they're so provocative. So
yeah. I think they're pretty pricey if I remember correctly. So I don't know if I'll be rushing out to buy any, but I definitely am keen to try some more. I think they do some oudi type fragrances, don't they? I might have to. There's a Libertine, and there's another house that I kind of mix them up for some reason. I think they might have a similar sort of aesthetic of the bottles and the labels, and I can't remember what the other house is called now. But yeah, I think I tend to get them mixed up. So I could be wrong on that last statement about the Udi fragrances. Thieves Axe says Bonfire. Fig scent by Mandy Aftel that I want to try. Oh, that would be interesting. Yeah, I haven't actually been onto Mandy Aftel's blog for a while. Is that still active? I don't know.
I haven't been on there in a while too.
Interesting. All right. Yeah. I mean, I do like fig fragrances. I really like them a lot. So sadly they turn sour after half an hour. Oh no, that's sad, Gail. That's really sad. Smoky incense for.
Oh, he was asking about Interlude Woman. Do you get something? I haven't tried the women's version. Is there smoky notes in it?
I think so. I think you could be right there. Again, it's been a while since I've tried it. I think I was a bit too maybe early in my Amouage journey when I tried that the first time, so I need to revisit it. Mark from Aussie Fragrance is here. Hi, Mark.
Hi.
I'm going to cough, so I'm going to mute myself. But
okay, while you're doing that, I could talk about another sample. Okay, so a lot of the ones I've been trying were from Vivi because she's giving me so many, and she has such a fantastic collection. And there's one that I kind of regret trying because it's hard to find it for a good price now. And it's from Sergetons. I have Dame Blonde, and I love it because it has this apricot oil smelling notes in it, and I just love the smell of apricots. And it's also a really nice suede type of fragrance too. And I've really gotten into suede and leather scents. I'm just upset that I can't really find it for a good price, and I want the smaller bottle. So yeah, it's so good though. Have you tried it?
I was so close to blind buying that over COVID because there was somebody was selling a whole bunch of Serge with the old labels, so the old original formula.
Yeah.
And that was one of them, but I missed out on that one unfortunately, but that was one of the ones I wanted to get. So I'm really curious about it. And and now at the moment, I think we're sort of in a lull with Serge in Australia at the moment because the store that was getting them in has dropped them. And it was kind of annoying anyway because they only ever had a very limited range from Serge and all the really popular ones, but none of the sort of more obscure ones that I always wanted to try. So now, but somebody else has now picked them up. I don't know who, one of the other distributors has now picked it up apparently. So I'm very excited to hear whether or not we're going to have a broader range in Australia. But I think at the moment we're in that lull between them having been dropped and, taken off the shelves and not being brought in yet. So
yeah.
So yes, I'm very excited about that because I've never been to the Serge store in Paris. So, that would be on my wish list if I was to go back to France, and that'd be cool to be able to get some of those more obscure ones. I did pick up one that I blind bought one during COVID from, from Amy. She was selling off quite a lot of her fragrance collection over the past few months, and so it's been pretty lucky in Australia. We've all been just sort of pouncing on it. Whenever she types a post in the Facebook group, we're just like pouncing on it.
Yeah,
and that's actually where I picked up my Shangri-La from, the Hiram Green one.
Nice.
But she put up one that was in a bell bottle. I've never had any of the bell bottles before, so I just I jumped on that one. That one was Douce Emir, which was it's nice. It's kind of like an almondy sweet scent. It's okay. It's not my favorite Serge. It's not very challenging. I think anyone who likes a nice sweet desserty kind of fragrance would probably enjoy it, but it's probably not me. But I sort of just jumped on it because it was there and it was brand new. So I thought, I'll get it. I don't know what it is and I don't know if I like it, but yeah.
I think, did you mention that one in a video recently, like in a haul or something?
I might have mentioned it in my end of year.
Oh, that's
what I bought in the second half of 2020. Yeah, because I did buy it in 2020, so probably did mention it.
Yeah, so it seems like Dame Blonde seems to be a pretty popular one here. I'm glad that you like that one. I don't know if I would say it's a blind buy safe fragrance because it's kind of weird, but weird in a nice, like in a way that appeals to me. But I could see some people not liking it, but I love it. I see.
I'm muted. Sorry, I was chatting away. Yeah, I think with Serge, a lot of them, the really weird ones to me, I usually end up liking them a lot. But sometimes it just takes me a little while because I'm sort of thrown by them and I don't really understand them. But then once I spend a bit of time with them, I end up really liking them. So I'm not too, I'm trying not to blind buy anyway, but, over COVID, it was kind of hard to resist or, it's hard to get around it. But, Vive says her husband is obsessed with Dusita. It's just okay to her too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know she mentioned almond's not her favorite.
Yeah. Well, I quite like almond in fragrances, but this one it's not a creamy almond. It's kind of like a translucent, sort of just gentle, sweet almond. And yeah. So anyway, but yeah, I like the old. I don't know, Galen. I don't mind either. I know everyone really hates. I think maybe a lot of the hate. I wonder if a lot of the hate for the new bottles really is it the aesthetic or is it that people think or associate a new label with a reformulation?
That could be it. Yeah, I actually have Shen, which is in the Gratte du Ciel bottle, the long skyscraper one. And in pictures, I thought they were horrendous. But when I got it in the mail, I thought it's fine. It's not that bad. And the quality of it's actually pretty sturdy and good. So I liked it. But I think the smaller ones and the clear bottles, I don't like it. But I wonder if it's because I know Cedric Jones is such an artist. And maybe that's his view of what is aesthetically beautiful now. I don't know what it is. But if he wants to do it, I guess, let him do it.
I guess so. Yeah, I know for myself that if I'm seeking an old style Serge bottle, it's because I want the old formula, like an older formulation. It's not because I necessarily want the I do like the older labels a little bit better, but it doesn't really bother me that much.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they are difficult to read.
Yes, that's true. That is true. So anyway, all right. So the other one that I've been trying lately, a friend of mine gave me loaned me a sort of pack of fragrances. I'm going to put that in front of the thing. I have never tried Javoy, and I'd heard a lot about them, and so I was really excited when actually Coz loaned this to me. But I think somebody loaned it to Coz, so it's being passed around a little group. But it's a I don't know. I'm really struggling with these Javoy fragrances. I feel like they're a lot louder than I expected. And I haven't been through all of them yet. There's quite a few in this box. But the one that I did try on the other day, which I thought was a bit weird at first, and then when it dried down, I kind of liked it, is L'Art de la Guerre. Anyway, I don't know if you can see that, but I've got to get it in front of the Anyway, so it's kind of like it opens a bit fruity, but then it's also got this sort of dark patchouli, tobacco-y kind of base on it. And it's really kind of weird. because I don't really know if I like the fruity sort of sweet opening, but on my skin. But then it sort of when it dries down, it sort of gets that nice sort of, I think it's patchouli. To me, it sort of smelled patchouli and tobacco-y, so it kind of got a bit dark. But there's something in it, and it's the same thing that's in all the other fragrances that I tend to not like, and I don't know what it is, but they do have the ingredients listed on here. So I was sort of like going through them last night, trying to work out which one is it. So I'm actually wondering if it's there is something, you know, sort of in things like I don't know if you've tried Deluxe by Tiziana Terenzi.
I haven't tried any from that house yet, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that one is a sort of like I think it's a gourmandy. It's quite popular. A lot of people really like it because it's sweet and sort of gourmandy, but there's something really pungent in there. And it's sort of the same thing that's in, say, Herba Pura, that really sort of gets into my nose and burns my nose. And I'm actually wondering, so I was listening to Making a Stink yesterday. I was listening to one of their videos, and Camille was talking about, or using this term, terpenic, and I just, and I just went, that's what it is. That's the smell that I don't like. It's just sort of so pungent and synthetic-y to me. And I'm wondering if it's limonene, which is meant to be apparently, it's meant to be sort of an orangey, citrusy smell, but it does have this terpenic aspect to it, apparently, and it can be quite, you know, pungent. So am I repeating to you? I feel like I'm hearing my voice come back to me. So
like an echo?
Yeah.
I heard it for a split second, but I don't get it anymore. I don't know if anyone else is hearing it though.
That's good. Hopefully it's not too annoying for everybody. Yeah, so I'm wondering if that is the ingredient, that if there's too much of it, it doesn't agree with me. So sadly, this is one that I would have liked had that not been.
Oh, darn.
But because I'm really kind of liking the patchouli scents at the moment. But never mind. So what have you've got one from this house, haven't you?
I do. I have Remember Me, which I do love lactonic notes. So that's why I really enjoy that one. And it smells like a really nice milk tea fragrance. So I have that. I do have a few other samples from the house, but I've only tried just a few other ones. I think Psychedelic was another one. They have one called Psychedelic, I think, right? Is that the patchouli heavy one? My husband hated that one, which is a surprise because he loves patchouli. So I don't know what it was about it that he didn't like, but I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I think I tried that one too. That was pretty loud. And I think Remember Me, is that the vanilla? Is that a vanilla fragrance?
It's vanilla tea. I think there's cardamom, those spices.
Okay, I haven't tried that one yet, but I'll try and find it and dig it out. The other one that I tried, which I really liked the name of it, it was called Rouge Assassin, I think. And
that was the other one that my husband tried. I haven't tried it on myself though yet.
And I didn't like it. I mean, I wanted to like it. There was something in the opening which I did kind of like, and I wasn't sure if it was iris that I was smelling or something else. I mean, I know it's supposed to have iris in it, but I did kind of like it. But then again, it just got that really pungent sort of weird smell to it. But I was sad because I really liked the name. But there was something about it that I did like, but it lasted only maybe 5 minutes, and then it sort of just went weird. So I wasn't all that excited about it. But so far I'm not. Maybe I'm just being really picky at the moment. I'm just going through a phase, I think. Oh, and Ombre Premiere I tried as well, which I wasn't.
Oh,
it wasn't bad.
I haven't tried yet.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, but it was just not that exciting to me. I think I've got so many amber fragrances now that I just didn't feel like I needed to add another one, that unless there was something special about it, and I didn't feel like there was anything that special about it. So anyway, never mind. Michelle says, I'll let you pronounce this because I know that you can.
Les jeux sont faits.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
that.
I don't know if that one is in here actually.
I don't
but,
think I've tried that one either.
But it's funny because now that I'm looking at them, I'm going, oh yeah, like I've seen the names of these. I've obviously.
Yeah, I know it's a very popular house among niche lovers for sure.
Yeah, but it's sort of weird. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just maybe going through a phase, but there was just I wanted to. I thought I was going to love a lot from this house, and I haven't really found anything, unfortunately, that I really like yet. But that's okay. Anything else that you've tried lately that piqued your interest?
Here, I tried a little bit of this. I only need a tiny bit, which is why it looks full. But this is Playa Linda from Chronotope. And I have a full bottle of another fragrance called Buen Camino. This one, I think, is a really nice one to try if you are an osmanthus lover. And I know osmanthus tends to be associated with like apricots, and that's what I typically get from a lot of fragrances that have that note. Mm-hmm. But this one, it's more peachy to me, and it's kind of like an avant-garde type of fragrance because it's a little strange. It's almost like peaches on the verge of rotting under the sun. Okay. And then, so it gets very pungent. And then there's a little bit of this salty, sweaty accord as it dries down, but not sweat like Francesca Bianchi. That one's kind of more towards the cumin side of things. This is more of like the sour. So I know I'm probably doing no favors just describing this, but
I think I know exactly what you mean, actually. And I was trying a scent. I can't remember which one it was. About 3 days ago, there was something that I tried, and it had a similar. I wanted to say it was sweaty, but then I was thinking it's not sweaty like dirty skin sweaty. Mm-hmm. It was. So I think you've described that very well, actually.
Sour. Yeah. But I like to smell it if I want to smell something interesting, and I also like osmanthus. So there's that. I don't know if I'll get a full bottle because it is something I don't think I could wear out often, but I admire it. So.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I really do love fragrances like that where I just smell them for me. I was going through Insta yesterday, and somebody had posted on their stories that they're kind of at a point now where they're kind of a bit repulsed by seeing, people's massive collections of perfume, and I thought, yeah, I know, I get that too. I get, sometimes I walk in here into this office and I see the perfumes, I'm just going, oh, but then other times, half an hour later, I'll just be standing there sniffing them. Yeah. I don't necessarily want to wear them on my skin all the time, but I do really, it's a really cathartic process for me to just go and smell things. And I do have, there are fragrances that, I probably rushed out and bought and then thought, maybe I could have just done with a sample and just for that purpose of just smelling it because I don't really know where I'm going to wear some of these fragrances. But anyway.
I guess, back to your point about like having a large collection. I mean, that's when I see that, it doesn't really bother me. Like, for example, your collection, I love watching your videos because I love a lot of the fragrances you're talking about. I guess I kind of get that point of view of like consumerism and all that. But then at the same time, if a person really enjoys most of their fragrances, like I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah. Oh, look, I didn't take offense to it because I think what she was saying was that she had a collection like that at some point and she got rid of it. And because to her, it sort of got so much and got so overwhelming. And now whenever she sees it, I think it probably just reminds her of what, so I didn't take it. I didn't take it as an offensive comment. I think she was just sharing how she felt
like from her perspective.
Yeah. And I get that because there are times when, I'm still going through a process of trying to minimize all my stuff at the moment because we're probably going to be moving house in sort of 6 months' time. And, I'm sort of thinking I don't want to be moving all of this stuff. And so I'm just going through and I've got just things that I've accumulated over the years. It's not like I've gone out and bought all this stuff in a very short period of time, but I've just never gotten rid of anything. And so and that's the same with my perfume collection. I have been through iterations of it where I did sort of get rid of things, most of it, and then I've built it back up again. But it's not like I go out and buy 20 perfumes in one go. You know, it's more of a just gradual, just keep adding to it and not getting rid of anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. It's but I mean, it does. There are a lot of perfumes that I've sort of put aside now, or I'm sort of going, they're not even ones that I want to go and sort of smell. Sometimes I go and smell them just for a reference point, because some of, you know, they might be a classic or something like that.
Yeah, right.
But you know, at the same time, I'm thinking, if I'm not wearing it and I have no desire to really smell it, then I may as well just get rid of it. So yeah, I mean, I admire you for keeping your collection.
It's growing though. I know I said I wanted to keep it like under 50. I am past 50 at this point. So I did buy quite a few recently. But I don't expect to buy any full bottles anytime soon after I get the ones left in the mail.
Yeah.
But it is growing. And I'm trying to be conscious of that, because I don't have the space. So
yeah, and that's my problem too, is I don't really have any more space. And I'm kind of at the moment, there are a few select fragrances that I'm just really kind of obsessed with at the moment, and I just want to give myself permission to just wear those, even if I want to wear them every day for 6 weeks or something, you know, but not to feel pressured to wear other things in my collection, because that's been my approach in the past, is to make sure that I wear everything to just sort of justify to myself to have them. I've always sort of said, okay, well, I can't keep wearing the same thing over and over. I have to switch it out. And now I'm sort of going, yeah, you know, just wear what you want to wear, Cherie. You don't have to, there's no rules here.
Yeah.
But so I think in the past I've used that as an excuse just to say, oh no, I wear all of them, so totally justified in having a ridiculous amount of perfume. But now I just sort of think, okay, well, I'm happy to smell them, and I'll just be happy with that and not worry too much about, you know, what people might think of me. Mostly it's actually not people on the internet that I'm worried about. It's the people that come into my house in life. Because when they see it in the flesh, they're just going, what? So anyway, right. Well, hang on. I've ignored the comments. I'm sorry, everyone. Oh, that's very nice. Thank you. Thank you so much. How do you decide which bottles will make it to your collection? Well, it is a process. It's well, for me, I think it's changing. My rules of what I add now are changing. Before, it used to be a case of you know, I would sample something, and if I really loved it, or even if I just liked it, sometimes I would, if there was a particular day where I just wear it and I go, wow, that's really great, I'd just immediately go out and buy it. And now I don't do that. Now it's more of a case of, it's not even necessarily a case of, you know, not trusting that I really like it when I've sampled it. Although my mind, I mean, you're the same, I think. You know, our noses change all the time, and things that I liked, really, really loved a year ago and was totally obsessed about, now I'm sort of going, oh, not that obsessed about it anymore. But it's more to do with the fact that I just have to remind myself that I don't actually have to own everything that I really love or really enjoy wearing. Sometimes I can just appreciate it and then just keep my collection, you know, keep my wardrobe as it is, and just keep wearing the things that I already have. So that's sort of the process I'm going through at the moment. So unless I really, 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 really love something, and I know that there's a good chance that for instance, if it's an artisan perfume. So I went to buy, so I think I reviewed not long ago, I don't know if I did a proper review of it, but I sort of had it in a list video, Blackwater Thistle by Criminal Elements, which is an artisan perfumer here in Australia. And they, and I really, really loved this fragrance. And I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to get a bottle, but I made myself wait, and now they're sold out. So I literally went to buy it about a week ago, because I'd used up the sample, and I went to buy it and he'd sold out. I don't know if he'll be making. He might be making more. I don't know, because I don't think it was a recent release. I think that one was one that he'd had for a while. So hopefully he'll make another batch of it. But with artisan perfumes, you just never know. Like sometimes it's just that batch and that's it. So So I'm sort of kicking myself that I didn't go out and buy that one now, but it's okay. I can, but it's been a good learning process for me, because I've also learned that now I don't have to, I'm not dying as a result of
Yeah.
obsessing over it every minute of the day going, oh my God, I wish I had that fragrance. It's just, unfortunately I don't have that fragrance, but okay. Yeah. So that's my process at the moment. I don't know what your process is. Do you want to?
Yeah, I think mine might be similar. Sometimes it takes me a long time to decide whether or not I want to buy a fragrance. There are some rare occasions where it's kind of like a love at first sniff after trying a sample. But oftentimes I do try to wait to finish the sample to see if I actually really do love it. That doesn't always happen though. And when I purchase a fragrance or my decision to purchase one, I kind of made this, I don't know if it's a silly rule, but it kind of has to make me have an emotional reaction, because that to me is kind of like a marker of whether or not I will have that fragrance in my collection for almost the rest of my life. And that's what the ultimate goal is when I buy a perfume, because it's so hard for me to sell a bottle. Or oftentimes what I do, I give it to my aunts because they love perfumes, but they're not the type to seek out new perfumes or anything like that. But I know some of the more experimental ones, they cannot wear that, or they don't want to. So those might be harder for me to let go or sell. So I really try hard to kind of wait before I purchase a bottle.
Yeah, I think that's a really good approach, and it is. It's a lot harder than I realized to offload bottles of perfume that you're decluttering and whatnot. I still have a box here of fragrances that I decluttered last year, and I've been trying to. I can't even give them away. I've been trying to give them away, and so I think what I'll end up doing is I've told Matt, my partner, he's got a daughter who's at uni at the moment. I've just said, I might just give the box to her and she can take it to uni and give it out to the uni students, because they're, obviously they won't have much money anyway. I mean, a lot of them are designer fragrances and stuff, but I just thought I can't sell them. I've tried giving them away on the Facebook groups. Nobody's interested. So it's so hard to get rid of them. And I've got no family here in this city that I live in. So I don't know what to do. So it is a bit of a strange one.
It's a challenge.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if anyone who's tuned in, if you've got any other thoughts on how you decide what you add to your collections or not. But I used to be a lot more free and easy with buying the bottles, but not so much anymore. But I used to wear my perfumes differently too. I used to spray them a lot. I used to be an oversprayer, chronic oversprayer.
Really?
I've sort of reverted back. I mean, when I was younger, I wasn't. I was very sort of, discreet sort of perfume wearer when I was younger, and then sort of in my 20s, and then in my 30s, I think that's when I started to wear more loud perfumes and wear more of them. Excuse me. And then, I've really, it's kind of strange actually, because I thought, being in lockdown and being at home, I would probably just spray more, with more abandon, because there's no one to worry about and no one to offend. But in fact, I found that I actually wanted to tone it down a little bit. I still, and also maybe that comes from wanting to wear several fragrances a day as well. So I don't want to like drench myself in one fragrance, because I know that in 5 hours' time I'm going to want to have something else on. So there is that aspect. Well, I mean, I think we're almost at an hour. So, and I don't know, it's sort of you've got an evening to get on with. So I might wrap it up there if there aren't any other comments. But thank you so much for joining me. I love chatting to you about this stuff. And
same to you.
You always have some interesting suggestions on fragrances. So
likewise. And I think I mentioned this to you in a comment, but now I could say it to you to your face. But your channel was the one that really pushed me to make my channel. So you had a huge impact on that. So thank you.
I'm so glad you did, because you're definitely one of my favorites to watch.
Me too.
So thank you so much. And thanks everyone for joining. It's been really lovely having you all here. And yeah, I'll leave it there. Thanks. Have a great day or great evening, and I'll speak to you soon.
All right. Bye.
Thanks, Yve. Bye.